Hi, I'm Cheyenne Garant. I'm doing my informative speech on how drugs can affect a person's brain. So, I'm gonna get started. So, have you ever been to a party where people were doing drugs? They're either alcohol or marijuana or any other sort of substance that you and your friends thought, hey, this might be a good idea to try. I mean, what's the harm in doing it, right? Well, at the time, you may thought it was a fine idea because everybody else was doing it. You wanted to seem cool. You didn't want to be that person who just didn't do it just because they knew it was kind of wrong. But in reality, it's actually can lead to someone becoming addicted, no matter if it was just a one-time thing that you did one time. If you started doing it twice a week, once a month, once a year, anything, you are entitled to have a drug addiction. So now, drugs can consist of drinking alcohol, doing cocaine, meth, heroin, smoking marijuana, getting prescribed a drug, and overusing that prescription to feel some sort of pleasure of some sort. So, according to Paul Dillon, there is 1/3 of all young people have used an illegal drug. This is about 33% of young adults that have used an illegal or prescription drug in their lifetime. So, there are many different types of drugs. The most commonly found drugs are prescription drugs just because you have a little bit more easier access to them than illegal drugs, especially teenagers or young adults. Drugs can affect your brain in drastic ways that are really hard to get back from, but there are many ways that you can treat the brain and the addiction that you have. So there are many different types of drugs that can affect a person, and you wouldn't even be aware that it's affecting them. The first drug that people can easily get addicted to is painkillers, which is opiates or opioids. These are drugs that help people to overcome difficult physical and mental problems. So painkillers are what people may use for a headache, a migraine, if you have a sore muscle, or you may have broken a bone and you're trying to sedate the pain a little bit. Either way, your body can get used to it and just want it more and more and more, and you feel like there's just, sometimes people can feel like there's a pain anywhere and you can't do anything without it. So the second drug that's most commonly used is sedatives. These drugs are to sedate or render a patient unconscious so that he or she doesn't feel anything during operation. So these also can be prescribed to relieve anxiety and to reduce the possibility of epileptic seizures. So this is what a doctor can prescribe to you when you're having episodes of seizures every day and they're trying to reduce it, or if you have like really, really bad anxiety every day of your life, they might give this to you to help ease that. Most of the time it's used for operation purposes, but people can still become easily addicted to it because they might not be able to fall asleep without the sedative. That's what people use them for when they get addicted, is to help them sleep. So, sedatives, what they do is they can also help you feel a rush of happiness and make you feel really sleepy too. Like I said before, so they help to put you to sleep. So there are many more drugs that can have different effects and results, or if not used the proper way, can end up in death. These can include tranquilizers, antidepressants, stimulants, rubber shots, steroids, and alcohol. So when a person takes the drug, whether it's once, twice, or daily, or whatever, it can render the brain and make things not work right. So according to Nora D. Volkow, drugs activate the same brain circuits as do behaviors linked to survival, such as eating, bonding, and sex. So once a drug is taken over and over and over, it becomes a norm that you're used to, like eating regularly, having a physical bond with someone. Your body needs it, it craves it, and it just wants it 24/7. So another thing that it does, or that you should consider when taking a drug, is that it causes a surge in levels of the brain chemical called dopamine. This gives you a rush of pleasure, which affects the regions that control our desires and our emotions. So eventually your body starts to crave this extra amount of dopamine in your body, which isn't good because dopamine gives you a rush of feeling of being high and seems to make outside problems go away, but it increases the inside problems that you may have. Also, when using so many drugs with dopamine, it causes the brain to render the addict incapable of feeling and pleasure, even from the drug they seek to feed their addictions. So what this means is that eventually, once you take this drug over and over and over, and it affects that part of your brain, you no longer feel the need for the rush or pleasure. You're just taking it either way and killing the rest of your body in general. So there are treatments a person can do or get when they are addicted and have brain issues with it. So one type of thing is using medication for another has been proven useful, which is like if you're taking an anxiety pill, they might give you a different pill just to help with the addiction to the anxiety pill. There's also behavioral therapy or psychotherapy. Doctors can sometimes combine medications and behavioral therapy together to help with this. And another thing a person can try is multi-pronged approach, which is where they treat multiple addictions at one time. That way it's just, you're not getting addicted to another thing while trying to be treated for that one thing. It just decreases those chances. So you can also, people can attend groups or rehab centers or anything like that. But it's not about just getting help from them. You, as a person, also need to try to help them. Like, you can't just be like, oh, you're addicted to drugs, well, we're just sending you to this rehab center. No. You have to be their support. They need a support group, and that support group should be close family or friends, not just random strangers that they meet. So, it does take time for people to get over an addiction. Some people may find that it's harder to get over an addiction than others may find it easier just because they weren't addicted to it that much. So, the use in drugs in recent years has been increasing and will continue to increase if others who don't use drugs try to help those who do use drugs. So, right now, you might not feel like you can help them, or they might not want your help. You just can't be like, okay, well, I'm done then, whatever. No, you need to try to stick to that and help them. You don't want to see someone you love or yourself get hurt from doing something dangerous like drugs. So do what's right and don't abandon them. Look out for them and help the people that you truly love. Thank you.